All right, here we go. We're going to do lesson 11.4 in your Go Math book. Please turn to 643. Please follow along. Today's lesson is understanding area. Essential question. How is finding the area of a figure different from finding the perimeter of a figure? We've learned how to do perimeter. Just perimeter plus, you add up all the sides. Well, we're going to learn how to do area. Learning objective. You will use dot paper to find the areas of figures by counting the number of unit squares inside a figure and decide when to find area or perimeter of a situation. Okay. Now you're like, what? We're just going to count the squares, and I'll show you in just a minute. Okay. Area is the measure of a number of unit squares needed to cover a flat surface. A unit square is a square with the side length of 1 unit. It has an area of 1 square unit. Okay, so look at this square. Okay, it is 1 square unit. We don't know the measure. They're just telling us it's a unit. It could be centimeters. It could be kilometers. It could be inches. It doesn't matter. They're just telling you it's some kind of unit measure. Okay. So for the perimeter, this is the difference right here. All we did was add up the sides. That's all we did. We found the fence for our pasture. Okay, that's all we did was find the fence for our pasture. Let's put our little cow here. Moo. Okay. That is our fence to keep the cow in our pasture. It's just the outside. That's all we're doing is measuring the outside. Well, when we're talking about area, we're talking about the part that's inside the fence, the grass that the cow is eating on, the pasture, the actual land that the cow is walking on. That is your area. Okay, we're going to measure that in squares. All right, and I will show you this in just a minute. Okay, now it says use your geoboard to form a figure made from 2 unit squares. Now, you can go back to Symbaloo and you can use the virtual geoboard because I doubt if you have one at home. If you do, that's fabulous. But if you don't, it's fun to practice on the geoboard. Okay, so let's look here. We're going to form a figure made from 2 unit squares. Well, I'm going to put a square right here. That's a square, isn't it? And then I'm going to connect another square. How many squares did I use? What is the area? It is 2 squares. I used 2 squares. That is the area of that figure. Okay, now we have the rubber band. We're not going to use a rubber band. We have our pens and our pencils. Change the rubber band so that the figure is made from 3 unit squares. Okay, it can look different. I'm going to do the same square here, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. And I'm going to put a square there. Well, what if I do this? Okay, I have 3 squares. Now make sure they're all connected. Don't put a square here, a square here, and a square here. You're talking about an enclosed polygon, okay? So let's look here. That figure has 3 square units. Let's go this way. Now it says draw 3 different figures that are each made from 4 square unit squares. Okay, this is what I was talking about. You can change it up just as long as they're all connected. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 squares. Okay, in Mrs. Key's world, those are all squares. Okay, now maybe I want to do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I changed it that way. It's still 4, right? 4 squares. Well, what if I want to get all creative? And I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That works too, doesn't it? Okay. You could have also put a square here. It doesn't matter as long as it's connected. Okay, so they're all 4 units. Now, how are the figures the same and how are the figures different? Well, this one goes vertically, this one is horizontal, and this is just a different shape altogether. It's L-shaped, okay? So now we're going to shade each unit square in the figure shown. Well, we don't have the squares, but we have the dots, don't we? Oh, those sweet little dots. Okay, so I'm just going to connect them. How many do I have? I have 1. I'm going to connect another one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 square units in that figure. Even though it wasn't connected on the inside, I was able to tell that. All right, we're going to count the area of this figure. Well, if you need to connect the dots, then do it. And make all those squares. Then all you have to do is just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 square units. If you can see the squares without connecting them, do it. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I see 9 square units. You can connect them if you need to. And then count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So let's connect these to make squares. Do you see I'm making squares? I'm connecting them so it makes squares. How many squares did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 square units. Okay, now let's look at these questions at the bottom here. It says, write area or perimeter for this situation. You're going to buy a rug for a room. Now think about this. A rug covers the surface of the floor. It's going to be the area because it covers the surface of the floor. I'm going to be putting a fence around a garden. I'm just going to put a line around the outside of my garden. It's the perimeter. Okay? All right. Now we're going to do this page and then we're going to do our homework together, or do your homework on Go Math. Here we go. Count to find the area of the figure. Make your squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 square units. Okay, this one looks different, doesn't it? But all you have to do is connect on those grid, on those dots, on that dot paper. How many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 square units. Now let's go over here. Make my squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 square units. Ooh, now we're getting into some toughies, but it's still the same thing. Please just connect your dots to make squares. See, they're all the same size. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 square units. Now, like I say, the units, they just put a random one in there. That's just, it could be centimeters, it could be meters, okay? Now let's connect all of these and make our squares. forgot that one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, very good. Now let's connect these. It's a strange shape, isn't it? Don't forget to connect all the dots. That's where we're going to mess up, is we're not going to connect all of our dots. Make sure you have squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, now write area or perimeter for this situation. You're painting a wall. Now you're covering the surface of the wall. You're not just doing one line, you're covering the surface. So you're going to do area, okay? You're covering a patio with tiles. You're covering the floor, the ground with tiles. It's going to be the area, okay? You're putting wallpaper border around a room, okay? Wallpaper border is thin. It's going around the edge of the room. It is the perimeter, okay? You're gluing a ribbon around a picture frame. You're not talking about the picture itself. You're talking just about the frame that goes around the picture. So that is the perimeter. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to try your homework, okay? Let me know if you have any problems.